in Scrum product, or you can say the Scrum Artifacts. Well, hefty title, but the concept is really simple. Artifacts are basically just physical records that provide project details. Scrum artifacts include product backlog, sprint backlog, and product increments. Let's quickly go through each of them. First up, we have product backlog. The product backlog is basically an ordered list of tasks and requirements the final product actually needs. It is constantly evolving and is never complete. The product owner oversees the product backlog, including how it's made available to the team, its content, how it's ordered, and everything, literally everything. So the product owner and the rest of the team work together to review the product backlog and make adjustments whenever necessary as product requirements keep changing throughout the life cycle. So like I said, Agile is an iterative approach. So is Scrum. So the product owner and the rest of the team keep updating product backlog according to the requirements that keep changing during different iterations. So for each item in the product backlog, you should add some additional information like the description, the order as in the priority order within which the whole backlog is listed, the estimate time, and the value it has in the business. Apart from this, you can add many other things. Anyway, next up we have sprint backlog. Sprint backlog is a list of items from the product backlog that need to be worked on during a sprint. So team members sign up for tasks in the sprint backlog based on their skills and priorities. So as the sprint evolves, it is possible that slight changes to the sprint backlog might occur. A new understanding of the feature the team is working on could mean that something is added to or removed from the sprint backlog. So the sprint backlog is a real-time picture of the work that team currently plans to complete during a sprint. Well, if it seems too much theory, don't worry about it. When we discuss how the Scrum process actually works, you'll understand what a sprint backlog is. Moving on, we have something called burn down charts. A burn down chart is a graphical representation of amount of estimated remaining work. Typically, the chart will feature the amount of remaining work, perhaps usually in hours, on the vertical axis with time along the horizontal axis. So when using a burn down chart, remember that if the chart is deviating from the expected remaining estimates, this is only a pointer. You still need to investigate and understand the cause before you actually can draw any conclusion. Next up, we have something called product increment. A product increment is the sum of product work completed during a sprint combined with all the work completed during previous sprints. So basically, in other words, product increment is the new code which has been written to enhance the features or usability of your product. So when you add a new set of code to your sprint, this new code has to combine with the existing code to work well. If your new features work well on their own but break some existing feature in your product increment is not potentially shippable. So that's it, guys. With this, we have covered all the key terms that you might come across in Scrum framework. Well, if you're confused from all these terms, do not worry about them. You will be able to understand them very easily and use them when you adopt Scrum methodology. So next up, we have the Scrum process, as in we're going to discuss how the Scrum process actually works. It's very simple, just few steps. So the entire Scrum process starts with a product owner. So he is the person who represents the final user's best interest and has the authority to say what goes into the final product. This product owner creates a product backlog, which is a list of tasks and requirements the final product needs. The important part is that the backlog, that is the product backlog, must be prioritized. And that's the job of the product owner. Here's a simple example. Let's say if I were to create a Scrum design to design a car, items like must have an engine would be top of my list because without an engine, car wouldn't run. Must be painted red would be my last priority, or it could be last in my product list because painting a car is anything which you can do later. So it's not of a much priority. So that's how you make a list, as in you organize all the items in your list based on priority.